Good yogas for Gemini rising. Jupiter in the 7th house, Sagittarius, its own Moolatrikona sign, for Gemini rising forms a highly auspicious yoga. Its aspects to the 11th house, Aries, 1st house, Gemini, and 3rd house, Leo, bring expansion, intelligence, and fortune in personal initiative and networking. This placement strengthens long-term partnerships, wise counsel, and dharmic marriage prospects. If Mercury, the Lagna lord, also aspects Jupiter or is conjoined in Kendra, it creates a strong Guru-Budha mutual influence, making the native articulate, generous, and respected in relationships. Venus in the 5th house, Libra, its own sign, creates a refined and creative yoga for Gemini ascendants. Venus governs the 5th house here, and if it conjoins Mercury, Lagna lord, or is aspected by Jupiter from the 11th house, Aries, it builds strong jhana and rajajasic yogas linked to arts, romance, and speculative success. The 5th house also rules mantra, past life merit, and children. So this yoga supports charisma and fulfillment, particularly in aesthetic or performance-driven careers. Mercury in the 1st house, Gemini, conjoined or aspected by Jupiter from the 7th, Sagittarius, creates an exalted yoga, a combination for intellectual brilliance, clarity of communication, and spiritual intelligence. When the Lagna lord is strong, and particularly when it's joined by natural benefics like Venus or Moon, the individual becomes a leader through ideas, publishing, or digital communication. The 1st house Mercury ensures adaptability and skill, while Jupiter's 7th aspect anchors it in ethical reasoning. Moon in the 2nd house, Cancer, its own sign, for Gemini rising is highly supportive of financial and emotional security. When it receives an aspect from Jupiter in the 6th house, Scorpio, it creates a subtle Gaja Kesari yoga, bringing calmness and benevolence to speech and wealth management. This configuration supports counselors, speakers, and emotionally intelligent professionals. If Venus also aspects the 2nd house from the 5th, a Dana yoga involving artistic or aesthetic wealth accumulation is formed. Jupiter in the 11th house, Aries, aspecting the 3rd, Leo, 5th, Libra, and 7th, Sagittarius, forms a grand benefic triangle for Gemini rising. These aspects bless the native with creative intelligence, strong relationships, and courageous self-expression. Jupiter's natural Karaka influence supports gains through higher knowledge, teaching, and leadership. If Mercury is placed in the 9th house, Aquarius, and also aspects or is aspected by Jupiter, a Dharma Artha Kama trine activates, creating holistic success and fulfillment. Sun and Mercury conjoined in the 3rd house, Leo, with aspect from Jupiter in the 9th house, Aquarius, form Buddha Aditya Yoga enhanced by a Guru Drishti aspect. The 3rd house rules enterprise, courage, and communication. This trio encourages the native to be a dynamic communicator, possibly in media, sales, or education. The 9th house, Jupiter anchoring this adds wisdom and global influence, while the Sun gives authority. This is a strong yoga for public speakers, teachers, or high-level consultants. Venus in the 9th house, Aquarius, aspecting the 3rd house, Leo, is another subtle but elegant yoga. Venus governs the 5th and 12th for Gemini ascendant, and its presence in the 9th enhances artistic dharma, foreign influence, and luxurious spiritual growth. If conjoined with Jupiter in Aquarius, or aspected by it from the 3rd, the combination fosters prosperity through teachings, aesthetics, or multicultural work, especially in NGOs, design, or publishing. Jupiter in the 1st house, Gemini, even though not an own sign, aspecting the 5th, 7th, and 9th houses creates an expansive personality with dharmic, romantic, and philosophical depth. If Mercury also conjoins Jupiter, the native becomes wise, witty, and influential. Such a person can lead through speech, innovation, and ethical application of intellect. The 5th and 9th aspects particularly elevate past life merit and future fortune, leading to karmic success in education, creativity, or leadership. Good yogas for Libra rising. Jupiter in the 3rd house, Sagittarius, its own Moolatrikona sign, forms a dynamic yoga for Libra ascendant. It aspects the 7th Aries, 9th, Leo, and 11th Aquarius houses, enhancing courage, fortune, partnerships, and gains. For Libra natives, this placement makes them excellent communicators and bold initiators of dharmic action. If Venus, Lagna Lord, is placed in the 1st or 9th and receives Jupiter's aspect, it creates a highly refined Dharmakama Artha trine, where luck flows through creative intelligence, relationships, and purposeful actions. Venus in the ninth house, Gemini, for Libra rising forms a graceful Lakshmi yoga. As the Lagna lord, placed in the house of Dharma, Venus gives fortune through arts, travel, and spiritual teachings. If Mercury, ninth lord, conjoins Venus or aspects from the third house, Sagittarius, the person becomes an expressive teacher, counselor, or diplomat. Jupiter's aspect from the seventh adds wisdom to this yoga, making the native highly desirable in global or ethical platforms, especially those involving language, aesthetics, or education. Mercury in the ninth house, Gemini, its own sign, conjoined with Sun, 11th Lord, forms a Buddha Aditya yoga rooted in higher knowledge and social recognition. For Libra ascendants, this combination makes one highly intelligent, with influential mentors and a futuristic outlook. If Jupiter from the third house aspects this pair, it brings ethical alignment and creative communication skills. The individual often becomes a pioneer in teaching, consulting, or cross-cultural platforms. Moon in the 10th house, Cancer, its own sign, is excellent for career growth and public respect. For Libra rising, Moon rules the 10th, so this placement creates a Kendra Lord in Kendra Yoga. If Jupiter from the 6th house, Pisces, aspects this moon, it generates a Gaja Kisari yoga influencing public recognition, emotional intelligence in leadership, and support from the masses. Venus, if placed in the second or fourth, enhances material outcomes linked to mother, home, or value-based careers. Jupiter in the 6th house, Pisces, its own sign, forms a Viparit Raja yoga and provides protection from enemies and debts. It aspects the 10th, Cancer, 12th, Virgo, and 2nd, Scorpio houses. This supports a rise in service-based professions and victory through ethics and spiritual insight. If Moon is in the 10th and Venus in the 2nd or 9th, the native enjoys material success through charitable or healing professions, such as medicine, legal work, or NGOs. Venus in the 1st house, Libra, its own sign, when aspected by Jupiter from the 9th, Gemini, or 5th, Aquarius, creates a powerful Rajasic Dharmic blend. This grants magnetism, diplomacy, artistic talent, and a beautiful physical aura. Jupiter's aspect elevates this Venus into a spiritualized expression, suggesting the native achieves success in roles involving representation, justice, art, or social influence. If Mercury is also in the 1st or 9th, this gives exceptional communication skill with creative wisdom. Sun and Mercury in the 11th house, Leo, form Buddha Aditya Yoga in the house of gains and aspirations. Mercury rules the 9th and 12th for Libra rising, and the Sun rules the 11th. So this yoga links Dharma, Moksha, and Artha through speech, intellect, and recognition. When aspected by Jupiter from the 3rd, Sagittarius, it empowers the native to fulfill ambitions through teaching, writing, or diplomacy, particularly in leadership roles in media or education. Jupiter in the 5th house, Aquarius, aspecting the 9th, Gemini, 11th, Leo, and 1st Libra houses, forms a powerful Dharma-Kama Raja yoga. For Libra rising, this Jupiter uplifts intelligence, spiritual merit, gains, and personality. If Venus is placed in the 9th and Mercury conjoins it, the trinal links between knowledge, charm, and guidance are exceptionally strong. The person may become a creative visionary, serving through innovation, technology, or spiritual content creation, especially where humanitarian values are emphasized. Good yogas for Aquarius rising. Jupiter in the 11th house, Sagittarius, its own Moolatrikona sign, creates a powerful Dana and Mahapurusha yoga for Aquarius ascendant. It aspects the 3rd, Aries, 5th, Gemini, and 7th Leo houses, granting gains through courage, intelligence, and wise partnerships. This placement supports fulfillment of desires, elevated social standing, and profitable associations. If Venus, 4th and 9th Lord, is placed in the 1st or 5th, and Moon is strong in the 6th or 7th, the native experiences growth through creativity, learning, and balanced personal and professional relationships. Venus in the 1st house, Aquarius, brings charm, artistry, and diplomacy to the personality. As Lord of the 4th and 9th houses, Venus becomes a Yoga Karaka for Aquarius rising. When placed in Lagna, it blesses the native with elegance, fortune, and harmony. If Jupiter aspects from the 5th or 11th, and Mercury, 5th and 8th Lord, is well placed in the 3rd or 9th, this forms a Dharma Karma Moksha yoga of high ethical intelligence, artistic charisma, and fortunate public influence. Mercury in the fifth house, Gemini, its own sign, forms a brilliant Buddhi yoga rooted in creativity, education, and communication. For Aquarius rising, Mercury rules the fifth and eighth houses, linking higher learning with transformational depth. If conjoined with Sun, seventh lord, and aspected by Jupiter from the 11th, it forms a Rajasic dharmic triangle that fosters success in consulting, strategy, or public-facing thought leadership. Moon in the sixth house, Cancer, its own sign, creates emotional strength and service-oriented intelligence. Though placed in a Dusthana, the moon here, when aspected by Jupiter from the 10th, Scorpio, forms a powerful Chandra Guru yoga in work and healing. The native may rise through healthcare, education, or social service. If Venus is strong in the first and Mercury in the fifth, this forms a subtle Artha Moksha blend that gives depth and social relevance to the career path. Jupiter in the 10th house, Scorpio, though not in its own sign, aspects the second, Pisces, fourth, Taurus, and sixth, Cancer houses. This enhances career dharma, wealth management, and emotional responsibility. When Venus is in the first and Moon in the sixth, it creates a beneficial Kendra alignment where leadership is grounded in wisdom and practicality. The native may shine in careers involving law, psychology, transformation, or crisis management. Venus in the ninth house, Libra, its own sign, forms a pure Lakshmi yoga for Aquarius rising. As Yoga Karaka, Venus in its own sign in the house of fortune blesses the native with travel, education, luck, and aesthetics. If aspected by Jupiter from the 1st or 11th, and Mercury is well placed in the 5th or 7th, the combination bestows spiritual elegance, financial success, and philosophical charm, ideal for educators, artists, or refined business leaders. Sun and Mercury conjoined in the 5th house, Gemini, create Buddha Aditya Yoga rooted in sharp intellect and creative influence. If Jupiter aspects this pair from the 11th house, Sagittarius, it forms a trinal wealth and intelligence configuration. For Aquarius rising, this is a clear path to becoming a strategic communicator, respected scholar, or media-based leader, especially in roles blending logic with public engagement. Jupiter in the first house, Aquarius, though not in own sign, aspects the 5th, Gemini, 7th, Leo, and 9th, Libra houses, blessing intelligence, partnerships, and spiritual paths. If Venus is in the 9th and Mercury in the 5th, the native embodies a refined, philosophical personality with karmic blessings in both romantic and intellectual endeavors. This trio creates a rare Dharma-Artha triangle of balanced growth, positioning the native as an ethical, visionary leader in the modern world.